Hi everyone, welcome to Obidati Family TV. Today we'll be talking about the evolution of Anambra State economy, why Peter Obi was still the governor. And my name is Jessica Chinwe, and of course I am not alone. With me is my beautiful co-host.
Yes, I am Sharon Chuku.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Sharon.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Very well.
How was your weekend?
I've been trying to collect new money.
I like that. Money is important.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to briefly talk about, there are a lot of things that our principal has done when it comes to skyrocketing the economy of Anambra State when he was still the governor of Anambra State. But then let's discuss the fact that he built roads, and not just that he built roads for the sake of building roads, right? It was at that point where Anambra needed roads to enhance the economy of the state, you know. And so he built about 28 bridges and about 900 kilometers of roads.
Beautiful.
Exactly. It's amazing.
It is.
And the fact that he did that because villages, you know, were having issues trying to cross over to sell their stuff and all of those things. So when they built it, it was just so easy for them. And you know, stuff like when you understand that, okay, if I'm going to sell this thing, I'm going to use canoe. So you, as you're going to the market, you're like, I'm going to sell everything, whether people price it lower or cheaper or whatever, I'm still going to sell. So in that case, other community realized that, okay, these people don't want to take their goods back home because of the transportation issue. So they price their goods. I mean, they just try to make everything cheap, you understand? So this other community tends to like sell their stuff without having any gain, and it's increased the rate of poverty in that community. So yeah, when Peter Obi came in, it was just helpful. He built roads, and it took, I think they said it took about 2 hours to cross over. 2 hours, imagine, when you're not going to Onitsha. 2 hours just to community. But then after the bridge and everything, it was just about 15 minutes.
And I heard, was it not when I heard that if you wanted to go to Onitsha, that Opiweka axis, that it would take you hours.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember
that it would take you hours. And if my mom wanted to go to the east, you call on the phone like, we are still there or traffic, because
I think I was still about, okay, I don't want to say my age, but then I was still I was still very young then, and it was really like, whenever it comes to traveling, I remember that road, I'm like, oh god, can we just use flights? But then flights at that point.
But exactly, it's what I love the fact that, okay, after he constructed those roads and those bridges, 28 bridges that he built and constructed from scratch, we started seeing how transport was now easier, because when you talk about businesses and entrepreneurship, and I remember my year 3, they taught us entrepreneurial studies 301, and they said how location is important and transportation is important. So there's no how you're going to be starting a business here and you don't consider the transport or you don't consider the distance from where you can get your raw materials / supplies to where your consumers are. So after he constructed those roads, we started seeing how that people might look at it and think it's small, but then it made such a huge difference, because after that, like you rightly said, it was now easier for people to travel. It was easier for traders, for farmers, to exchange their goods, and that just made everything way easier.
And one thing I also want to point out is that the roads is not just Peter will be trying to do something, because I know this idea of governors, senators, local government chairman trying to do something for the sake of doing just market that blah 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 did something.
His Excellency did this.
And you know the funny part, when this person does this from this mindset, what they do not even last. It doesn't even last. Exactly. But then, do you know one thing that Peter Obi did when he actually constructed this road? For example, let's say I commissioned, like I gave you this contract to do the road. He made sure that the contractors sign
an agreement?
You know, not just an agreement. There was something he called that thing. They signed an agreement. Okay, let me just use the word agreement. And that agreement is that a bond signature. Now that bond signature means that if you are given this thing to work on, right, you're going to sign 5 years bond agreement that if you're done constructing this road, you're still in charge. So it means that if this road spoils, in the next 5 years, you are going to still use your money to construct it because you signed an agreement. So if I'm giving you this contract, it means that you're bringing in your best.
Are you for real?
You're bringing in the best materials, best equipment, whatever. So it doesn't spoil.
Yes,
so you see, it just extends. Like, you know, Peter Obi is a very accountable person. So he's not being accountable for himself alone, but then he extends this accountability with people that he works with. And someone, I was watching a video, and the person was like, he was saying it jokingly, and I was laughing. So imagine me, you give me a contract and I did nonsense. It means that I am going to still use my money to rebuild everything. So it's funny.
Exactly,
so you have to put in your best, right?
It's foolishness to mishandle that fund. It's foolishness to not use the money for what you're supposed to do. And that is such a brilliant strategy.
Exactly.
Because I've seen how Peter B tends to make people's, how do I say it? He finds a way sort of to make people accountable, like you said. He finds a way to make sure that even if he is not there supervising, although he's going to be there supervising what he's asking you to do, but even though he's not there, he's making sure he has put a strategy in place, a plan in place to make sure that you are accountable, because results will show. This one you just told me now about in 5 years time, if the road is bad, you have to, that is beautiful, because people will not want to
you want to put in your best.
Exactly. You want to put
if
in
you
your
don't
best.
You're going to still use your money to
do that. Yeah, that is beautiful. And we're talking about economy, right? And there's something that I saw, of course it's a bit popular now, but it's about the Sabmiller Brewery Company. That's the second largest brewery company in the world. And how P2B was able to attract them to Anambra State in particular, and they built their, they started working in Anambra State. First of all, I feel like people, I want people to understand the fact that when you want to build a state, or when you want to build a community, you want to build something, you need assistance, right? You need that connection with international waters and as well, because investments, let's say for example some other tourist countries, right? It's foreign investments that actually help these people, because they don't have natural resources. It's this foreign investment that actually helps them to accomplish some of these things that are accomplishing. So as of that time, and when P2B was governor of Anambra State, we see how he was linking up with major noble what would I call them?
Investors.
No, not just investors. He was linking up with people like the UNDP. He was linking up with UNICEF, and they were making sure, you know how they have in school, they taught us Millennium Development Goal for seven agenda, all this in against poverty eradication, poverty plan, or something like that. And then it was just theoretical. But when P2B became governor, and you know that all these Millennium Goals and the rest of them, they affect the economy. It's for the economy, exactly. So when P2B came on power, he had to, I don't know how he even did it, but he linked up with these people. He linked up with this development. He partnered with this development plans, and they actually rated him as the best governor in implementing all their development goals. So we see how P2B just took Anambra State and didn't just place it on a national level, but he placed Anambra on an international pedestal as well.
Wow, that's really amazing.
It is.
That's amazing. And I like the fact that Peter Obi is not just someone who is coming out to gain that title as president of Nigeria. No, it's not about the title. I like the fact that he's coming with this mindset of service. Like he would always say, I am coming to serve you.
True.
Right? Because when he was still the governor of Anambra State, he doesn't really, it's not always about what the government have to give him, to implement or develop the state. He goes ahead to bring money from his own pockets, and do a lot of things. And that's amazing. That is what service is all about. And let's also point out the fact that he gave the farmers in Anambra State, just to, boost the agriculture in Anambra, then he gave them about 1.2 billion naira.
1.2 billion?
Yes, just to develop agriculture. Just them. and wow. You know, when he gives you money, he's not giving you money to go and eat or build houses. You are going to give account to each penny. Like,
every penny.
Like probably someone that if he's giving you 10 naira, yes. you are telling him, like, you are giving account of that 10 naira that he's giving to you. And that's true. That's super amazing. And it's kind of, I want to also link that to being a philosopher, but I don't know if that is, okay. I know you mentioned one time that it's not always about being a philosopher.
No, you can actually.
Yeah, I will attribute that to being a philosopher, because anytime Peter Obi wants to speak, he always make reference to a life that is not being reflected. I want to paraphrase this, right? He was like, a life that is not being reflected or something is not worth living. Like he always points back to philosophy. And right? You know, it's always about principles. So we need people who are principled.
True.
Yes, so and that's it.
I totally agree with what you said, because I've seen how Peter Obi, even in his private life, no, we are just dealing on the public sector. Now we are going to talk about his private life.
Yes, definitely.
And we see how he also imitates this in his private life as well, and how he deals with people that are closest to him.
Yeah.
So you said something about how he has principles.
Yeah.
I've noticed, or what I've observed from Peter B, is that he's a very principled man, and he's not going to change his principles for anybody.
Yeah.
His children, the cousin, the relation, he's not changing that for him. Because, okay, there was this story that I and my sisters were sharing, right? And my sister was trying to judge it from a young person's, point of view. Exactly. She was saying how, who was it? I think whether it was the female child of Peter B or the male child of Peter B, when they graduated from school. And I think people, I don't know how that came about, people were asking him to gift them a graduation gift, like a car, to start off. And Peter B was like, if you know how other people hustled to get their cars, go and hustle to get your own car as well. He has already trained you. He has already, all this knowledge that he has, right? I'm sure he has imparted it in them already, and he expects them to multiply wealth, and not just to, oh, my father is Mr. Peter B.
Yeah.
I can relax, I can chill, nothing is happening.
Even in his house, I think there was, I don't know if it's true, but then I heard someone saying that he decided not to build any mansion. I think the wife had to, like,
he built a mansion,
right? But initially he just didn't want this whole flamboyant lifestyle and all those
that
things.
Simple.
Anyway, we've said a lot and we have more to talk about, but then we'll go a very, very short break, and when we come back, we'll dive deeper. See you.
Teach people, show people, say, now the logo be this. So that the way you want vote, when you reach there, you go see one will be umbrella, not be for Peter Obi. You'll see one will be broom, not be for Peter Obi. Now this one will Papa, Mama, Pikin, Day, and that will be Peter Obi. So when you want votes, you come press that ink they'll put for your hand. You come put her for where this picture they so. Now you go put her. That's why you take vote for Peter Obi. So if you see Labour Party logo now, you know what they are doing. I know because of this. And the location for ballot papers, picture of so on the day of the election, you put your hand for where that picture, you make it not process another person.
how can you do this? How can you prevent election rigging at your polling unit on election day? We share a few tips with you. So 1, show up early at your polling unit on election day. If you show up early, it's one way to stop election rigging because it gives you an opportunity to observe every activity at your polling unit. Now, this will enable you cross-check the following sensitive materials. You've got to shine your eyes and ensure that these materials are available at your polling unit. 1 is the ballot papers, 2, result sheets, 3, the BVAS device. Now, before accreditation and voting begins, ensure you verify that the BVAS has 0 figure for accreditation. Next, after accreditation and voting, remain at the polling unit to watch the process until ballot papers are counted. Closely monitor the ballot counting process and ensure the results are recorded on the original form, and it's the form EC8A for the polling unit. Then you need to ensure the INEC official takes a photo of the authentic results for that polling unit using the BVAS only. Only the BVAS should be used to take image of the result sheet. Now, once the photo of the result sheet is taken, closely watch to ensure the INEC official uploads the results on the INEC election results viewing portal using the BVAS. Now, where there is no network to transmit the results at the polling unit, we encourage you to accompany the INEC official with the BVAS to any location with network and verify the result is transmitted electronically. Lastly, you request that the INEC official post the polling unit's results at the polling unit using the...
Welcome back to Obidati Family TV. My name is Jessica and I am co-hosting with the beautiful
Sharon Enenchukwu.
So we've been talking a lot about the fact that is it Anambra? I was about to say Peter Obi helped the economy of Anambra to go from one level to another level to greater level. But then we also want to really look into other facts. You know, when Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra, he established this ANITS, right? Yeah, and it was centered on strategy, vision, and there was somebody was saying something that he went to Bangladesh.
Yes,
you know,
and India too.
Yes, to try to, I think he was trying to like compare or trying to
figure out how
they came out from poverty. And I think then Nigeria was better than Bangladesh. Yes, they were. Yeah. But then how did Bangladesh went from being poor to, you know, helping themselves at a level?
at a certain level, because now I think according to statistics they're like the fastest growing economy.
Yeah.
So one of the fastest growing, one of the fastest
like,
growing economy.
It's crazy.
So you know, it's not just Bangladesh. Okay, you see how Mr. Peter B would go to Egypt.
Several countries.
Yes,
right?
he'll go to Egypt. He'll go here. He'll tell you that, oh, I just finished a meeting with so and so at so and so. I was trying to. You tell us the topic he was trying to discuss and find things. So Mr. Peter B does not just, of course, he's wise and everything, but he tries to learn from people's experience, practical experience.
And that is what makes
and
leadership.
That's what makes a leader. The fact that you raised about him going to Bangladesh and going to India. So I also heard that he went to rural areas in India.
I think we should point out something. The fact that we are hearing doesn't mean that it's not true,
it's
right?
True.
It's verified.
It's true. It's verified. So you can go and verify too.
Exactly.
You can cross-verify. So he went to rural areas in India and he was trying to understand what they were going through before and how they were able to take themselves from that situation to where they are at now. And there were some striking things that he found that they did. I feel like that's why if you look at the way he even handled Anambra State, it's actually in line with what he discovered in India. First of all, he saw that they invested heavily in education.
Yes.
So you might see, you might go to a school in a rural normal place in India, and maybe you see the infrastructure, it's not that mad, you understand? But when you go inside, this is where you now see top-notch standard education, standard equipment that these students can use, and that was one. He noticed that as well. And we need to emphasize, although we've already talked about education and the role education play, there's the need for this resensitization on when people say school na scam, because I know that is coming from bad government, that's coming from traumatic experiences in school. So I'm not going to downplay people's emotion concerning that, but it's important that we see that even in Bangladesh, that education played a key role in elevating them from poverty, and there were just so much other things that he learned about these rural places in India that he now implemented in Anambra State. So this is a man that he goes out, and he's not just going out, he doesn't receive medical treatment abroad. When he's traveling, you know, he's going there for either research or a meeting for a good purpose. Yeah. There's not people that will travel abroad and you're going there
3 months.
Stay 3 months.
They'll leave the country and then
they'll leave the country and they'll call
it's very funny.
You're like, what's going on in Nigeria? Okay, is that what's happening? You should sort yourself out. Do you understand? So when he's traveling abroad, you know he's going for a good purpose. He's going for a good reason. So I think I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I like the fact that before he left, he didn't just the typical Nigerian government system of all those things. He didn't just leave empty-handed or left everything for himself. But then he was able to at least leave 75 billion naira in cash and in investment for his successor. That's all like what we see. Like in Nigeria, there was a time he pointed out that Nigeria is about, like the government is about, they don't have investment. Like they're coming in to take what's left. What is there for me? What is there for me? Let me take
national cake.
Exactly. So if they are leaving, they're not leaving anything for the successors, right? They're just like trying to buy. So Peter Obi disrupted that narrative and tried to leave 75 billion, not million. I mean, that's big.
75 billion. And I don't know why, but but I feel like the successor or the government after that did not, if they left you 75 billion, I should be seeing 75 billion in my state. Like, do you know, evidence of 75 billion in my state?
But we're not seeing it at the moment.
We are not seeing it at the moment, and it's quite sad. That's why another point I wanted to bring is that I don't know if there's any other man that is in this world, in this Nigeria, that is like Peter Obi. If you people miss it now.
I think, they are, but then, you know, this Nigerian thing, they don't believe that good people can actually become
I feel like they have bad PR. I feel like good people have bad PR, or they don't have enough PR, you know, because never in my entire life or in my wildest imagination would I have believed that a man like Peter Obi existed, I mean, before I knew him, or like a man like Peter Obi was in government. It was already public knowledge that anybody in government was bad news. Anybody in government was, they were playing dirty. So of course I like the fact now that what Peter Obi is doing to not just my mindset, but to every Nigerian out there, is letting us know, is giving good people good PR. So if you're a good person, with Peter Obi in the picture, you have the confidence to come out and you have the confidence to show yourself. Because you know, when you are surrounded by, when you're a sheep surrounded by wolves, you will not really be so obvious. You won't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself. But when the president of a country is good, that has just set the standard.
When the head is good, the body is fine. So that's true as well. But then I was saying something, you know, the typical Nigerian thing, like they believe that no good person can become or come out to vie for whatever post it is. And there is this narrative that we need to break. Currently, I'm seeing a lot of things that this opposition party is doing, Tinubu precisely, and trying to make it feel like, you know, he calls himself Emilokon, which means that it's my turn or something like that, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, is this your father's property? Is Nigeria your father? Like, why are you trying to make it look like I own Nigeria, right? It's my turn to step out. So it makes other people, you know, feel like, okay, the bad people will win. But no, the narrative is changing.
It's changing.
Good people can actually become president, governor, whoever it is. So I don't think, I just want everyone to change this mindset, that good people cannot, you know, step into that place. It's not.
And
it's not
you
possible.
said this thing about Emiloko and how it's my turn. That is like, to me, it's crazy. Like, I'm hearing it. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Who are you really talking to? Right?
Exactly.
And the funny thing was, I saw one video, one mama like that was saying, yes, na in tongue. He don't try. Make himself the president. You understand? I'm serious.
Wow.
All this is like market women and everything. That's what they were saying. And it baffled me because he's saying that thing and people are actually buying into it, that it is third. Turn for what? Turn to destroy Nigeria the more?
I don't understand.
Turn to break us the more.
This is not your father's house. And you know, this thing is actually crazy. I don't want to go to his public life. I know that's private, but then there are speculations that he's not really Nigerian or something like that, which have not really verified. But then there is this speculation that he was adopted or something like that, and he's not really Nigerian.
Is that why he doesn't care about Nigeria?
I don't know, but then he's making money, he's just taking a lot of things. And let's even talk about the fact that, first of all, before I say this, I want to pray in your life.
Okay.
I pray that bullion van makes its way and comes to your house. Because what is trending right now in Nigeria, this is everyone's prayer point. Because it's crazy. Because how can you tell us that the bullion van missed its way to your house, and then, you know what? Let's just go to another point.
I mean,
it's very funny.
Oh my goodness!
But then this is what you see when the wrong people come out to vie for positions like this. It's just so obvious.
There are a lot of crazy things that has happened in this government that should not even be said outside because exactly that's probably when you listen on news. Snake swallow 36 million. That's not my country. I'm not really Nigerian.
The boldness, they are so bold to see nonsense.
What did they say? Insects. What did they say?
Is it monkey?
Monkey. That you like
at that point, people were like, God, in my next life, make me a monkey, because what is all of this thing?
And then they say it with their full chest.
Yes.
36 million naira swallowed.
Because you know they say that thing because no one is going to come to counter them. It's just arranged thing.
People have been countering them.
It's not like they're not countering them by words. I mean, what do you want to do?
That's
because who are in a position of power are the ones doing these things.
True, because I know that people have been countering these people, but okay, let me take for example, as they are in the executive arm of government, you know, it's the judiciary that checkmates the executive. Okay, you do something wrong that is against the constitution, the people notice, they complain, they go to the judiciary and do normal this thing, they go to court and everything. The next thing you're hearing, they've changed the Supreme Court judge. Exactly. They've taken this one out of seat and put another person.
Exactly.
It's as if we are not in a democratic government.
Exactly.
It's as if we are in a, well, I'm not called authoritarian. What is something worse than authoritarian? I don't even know what to call it, but it's just deeper than authoritarian government because these people do things without even thinking twice.
Exactly.
As if we are just in their fingertips and they can do whatever. Nobody is checkmating them, honestly.
That's why I'm saying that we are trying to bet a new narrative. The current stage of Nigeria right now is revolutionary stage.
Yes, we
are breaking. Like if you as a youth or whoever you are, and you're not part of this change, I bet you are the main problem. Not even Tinubu or whoever it is. You are the main problem because we are trying to see that Nigerian get this new name. We want to see change, we want to see development, and then you still want to tread in the old path that didn't give us the right results. Why? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. You know, we had a show earlier today, Diaspora Diaries, and we had somebody from Maryland, USA, and he was on the show and he was saying that he's having his master's abroad, and during one of his classes, he says that most bad things anything I want to say about Africa that is bad, you know, you hear Nigeria, Africa is bad at this, Nigeria, and if you're in Nigeria and in that space, you will feel very bad, you will feel really, really bad. And I know the same thing kind of happened to Mr. Peter Obi. He said that he was in school one time and his professor came up and was saying things about Nigeria specifically, and he now, when Mr. Peter Obi stood up to ask him a question, the man told him that he should go back and that they should go back and fix their country. Do you get? Because I totally understand how it would feel like when you are outside and especially when you're in the midst of people from developed countries and every bad thing they have to say must start with N. Nigeria did this. Nigeria scanned this person. Nigeria bad road. So, do you know I still think, I think some people, especially these white people in developed countries, think that we live in trees.
Exactly.
There's certain concepts that they have of Nigerians that sometimes me I hear it, I'm like, I didn't know Nigeria.
It's not the same Nigeria that we're in, right?
Which kind of Nigeria is this? So yes, it's really terrible, the kind of image that Nigeria has in international waters, and Peter Obi is going to change that for real. He has already done it in Anambra State.
He has done it, and he will keep doing it when he becomes the president of Nigeria. Let's also talk about the fact that he paid all the gratuity and pension that was that they owed about, I can't really remember, but it was since 1996.
Oh my goodness. My grandmom, she was one of the people they owed pension.
Did she receive her own?
She did. Because she was lucky.
So we are saying the right thing, yeah?
It will be it was not easy then, because I know she was working as a civil servant in Oka, Anambra State to be precise. So after the whole, she retired and everything, I can remember from the days I would visit, she'll be checking email, or to be checking messages. What is government saying? They will gather themselves, they'll go to government house.
Since 1996.
They'll be asking, and nobody would be doing anything, nobody would say anything. So I was not around, but I know the time they paid her pension, it was a big celebration. I benefited from that pension. even though I didn't work, but it was a big deal. It was such a huge deal. And what I'm trying to say is that I know, okay, let me tell you from my grandma's story. So you know, when you're working as a government official, or she wasn't doing any other thing. That was just her only source of income. And after they denied her that pension, she had to start making snacks. She would make, I remember she would wake up in the morning, make masa odejo. She would make buns. She would make what is it called, meat pies, and she would go to those offices, and sell back to them. And it was just really tough for an old woman to be doing that. Are you serious? And I'm sure it was not just my grandma. A lot of people were put in very uncomfortable positions because they were denied their rights. So I was really, really happy personally when Mr. P2B came in and he changed that and paid all of them. I was just happy. I'm sure I'm not the only person, but it was really something. It was emotional too. Yeah.
Are you going to cry?
No, I'm a good girl.
Okay, I still also want to point out that maybe some people they've not really bought this, or maybe they've not really bought to the idea of, to the vision that Peter Obi is the right candidate. I know that not everybody will support you when it comes to stuff like this, but then the percentage of people that should be supporting Peter Obi should be 95%.
Yeah.
It should be. I'm not saying like it should be.
Yes. That's what it's supposed to be. Yes.
Exactly. 95%, because all of the things that we are saying, you can go and verify. It's not we coming here to talk about stuff that we formulated by ourselves. It's something that has happened. Like she said, she made mention of her grandma and all of the stuff. So it's crazy, and it's amazing of all the things that Peter Obi has done. I think we should go on a very short break. Let's just unwind, and then we'll be coming back and talk more, and then we'll round up.
Yeah.
Every polling official is required to post the results of that polling unit at the polling unit. If possible, after all this, you can accompany the INEC officials and the electoral materials to the Ward Collation Center to monitor the ward level collation of results within your particular ward. And please feel free to take pictures and videos of activities at the polling units, because the law provides that you can, whether party agents take video recordings of political activities. And we encourage you can share these videos and pictures on social media and tag INEC Nigeria, tag Yaga on Twitter or on Facebook or Instagram, or use the hashtag Nigeria Decides 2023 or the hashtag Watching the Vote.
Our great Nigeria is possible.
Yes, so my correct country people, oyibo talk am say person wey dey do something the same way all the time come think say e go get different results. That one sef na madness o. We don dey make the mistake since. Make we now make am again o. Election don reach for us to select our leaders wey go enter power to rule this nation. Na make we dey tell you make you shine your eye and vote Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti for president and vice president of Nigeria. My people, no let anybody deceive you. 2 cups of rice no go feed you for the next 4 years. 4 years of Ankara no go cover your nakedness for the next 4 years. 5,000 naira no go pay your children's school fees for the next 8 years. So no let anybody deceive you and buy your vote. Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti don show say dem be people wey get good mind and their dream na to make Nigeria better for you and me. So make we support them and vote for Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti under Labour Party wey the symbol na papa, mama and pikin for this February election wey dey come so.
For lights today, for everything to work for us, for Nigeria.
Let's go. Hear me singing.
Welcome back to Go and Verify show. My name is Jessica and I and Sharon have been talking a lot about the past achievements of our principal Peter Obi. So before we round up, let's just quickly point out some certain things that he has done in improving the economy of Anambra State. Exactly. So there was a time he provided about 1,000 transformer. Yeah, it's amazing because first of all, I want to point out that there was a time in my village. I'm from Imo State, right? And then
from Imo State.
Yes.
Wow, I'm just finding out.
So it's whenever we were traveling then, I just don't like the fact that we're traveling to village because there is no power supply. And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? So I am leaving Lagos. I'm always watching Nickelodeon, and they are coming to village, and I'm always like, it's just so crazy. But then they provided, you know, the whole thing. But then I'm just imagining, putting myself in the place of these villagers that are provided, you know, power supply and all of those things.
After a very long time.
Exactly. So it's really amazing. You wanted to mention something,
yes,
right?
Okay, yes. I agree with what you were saying because I think, was it my grandma? This place called Umubele in Oka. So Umubele then did not used to have lights. Anybody can go and verify. It was really bad. And that was one of the reasons why I wasn't always visiting. Like you said, you are coming back from somewhere where you always had to, you could watch whatever you wanted to watch and everything. So coming back and everything was just as if the world is starting over again. Exactly. Everywhere is dark. Doesn't make sense. So I wanted to also add, when we were talking about economy and how Mr. Peter Obi actually enhanced the economy of Anambra State, let's also look at the businesses that he partnered with. You know these famous Innocent Motors, right? Sure. Yes. So it was during the tenure of Mr. Peter Obi that they actually he partnered with Innocent, because without Peter Obi in the first place, I don't think that he would have gotten to where he is right now. Yes, because during that time, that's Mr. Peter Obi actually got 1,000 vehicles, 1,000 Innocent Motor vehicles, and they were used as official government vehicles then. So now we can also see that investment is still solid till date. True. Because you go to Newi, the head branch, or like the headquarters, the what would I call it, the factory is still in Newi till date. I was passing by the other day and I saw it, and it was just nice to know and hear from people, oh, Peter Obi actually helped me do this. He actually
there are a lot of them.
And then you know that this also created opportunities for job for people who were without jobs, and it just goes to show how Peter B, some people call him stingy, but he's stingy too.
I love his own definition of stingy. If that's what stingy is about, please, you all should be stingy. I want to be stingy.
Because people, Nigerians are used to, because you have this thing, they feel you should be able to hand it out whenever. But Peter B will like, okay, what do you want to do? Tell me exactly. Give me your blueprint. What are you doing? And then if it makes sense, if it's possible, he's going to support you. I think that's what people don't know. So if you want Peter B to give you money, have sense. Calm down.
I like
write down exactly what you want him to do, what he wants to get with that money. Of course, you will release.
I know people like free money. They just want to, okay, I know Peter Obi, you are the governor of Anambra State, you are this, you are that. Please give me 10K.
Give me 10 million.
10 million.
Give it to me. Drink this weekend.
And it's not like that. I think that's the reason why the people that don't want to support him, I think this is the reason. Because they know that they cannot make money enough from it if you don't have something substantial that you're doing with it. And I also want to point out, based on what you said, the fact that Peter Obi, whatever he does or whatever he builds, it's substantial, it's worthwhile. It's not doing that just for the sake of doing sake, right? Exactly. It's doing it so that it will last for a very, very long time. And that's something remarkable.
That's really remarkable. Because it's not, when we talk about economy, building the economy, there's something, I don't want to mention his name, but he's a popular Igbo man, and he's a billionaire, and he's popular on social media as well.
I think I know the person.
Yeah, everybody should know what I'm talking about. But he said something. He said that there was this event that trended for a while. So he mentioned something about human capital development, like investing in humans, and how that is really, people don't see it as wise, or people maybe because of their selfishness or whatever don't really do that a lot. But human capital development is something that Peter will be actually invested in, and now we are seeing the profits of that.
True. That's amazing. I think we've said enough. There are a lot of them, and we'll continue to mirror. Yesterday we talked about, last week we talked about the educational. Today we talked about the fact that the economy of Anambra skyrocketed when Peter Obi was